Hello guys, welcome back to the Spicy Sweet Design channel. And this is gonna be a review of the Bandai Manga realization Koutetsu Samurai War Machine. And this is produced by Bandai's Tamashii Nations team. And this item was released in 2018 before Bandai switched over to the blue Bandai logo. But anyway, here we go. Here's the product, and yeah, inside, they attempt to make this thing to look like a very premium product. All right. Anyway, we have the back of the box right here. Says it's super posable, highly detailed, and weaponized. And here we have the caution item. Obviously rated for ages 15 plus. Blah 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 blah. It's not a very popular item, from what I understand. Not that many people end up buying it, so there we go. All right, so we have the instruction manual here on how to assemble the figure and the back. So anyway, not rated for ages 15 plus. It is actually made from ABS and plasticized PVC, and believe it or not, there's a lot of plasticized PVC on this product. This thing feels more like a Storm Collectibles figure than SH Figure Art figure, to be honest with you. The accessories, like the backpack, is mostly made from ABS plastic. So we have the cannon, we have the shotgun part. These are, actually, let me double check real quick. Yeah, these are ABS. These are hard plastic. Actually, it's possible that these things could be plasticized too. Yeah, you know what? This is not ABS. This is I think this is plasticized PVC. But this cannon part here, this is ABS plastic. All right, so yeah, this is these are hard plastic right there, especially this piece right here. These things will break very easily. I think they are either polystyrene or just ABS. Could possibly be polystyrene. So they all have that function, the old-fashioned flintlock mechanism. This is where the striker ignites the gunpowder to start off the explosion inside the mechanism to fire off the weapon. Yeah, that's how an old weapon works. They have that feature right there. Technically supposed to be like this. So we have the cannon right there. Is actually attached to the ball joint. These are specific, so we have a larger peg hole here for the cannon, and then we have a smaller one for the shotgun. Now this one actually works too, so there we go. Yeah, I'm doing the accessories first. So, and these things can be easily customizable. Basically, what you do is just attach via this peg system right here. So if you know how to drill a hole on the back of a figure, you can pretty much put this thing on any figure. You can put it on a NECA Predator. You drill a hole, and then the NECA Predator can have this backpack or anything. So, yeah, it's not. it's very non-specific. So yeah, other than the color difference, I can say this accessory can pretty much work with any figure. It can also be mounted upside down. So if you want like a cannon on the under sling like that, although it doesn't make a lot of sense if it's upside down because this would not work. The powder would just freaking come out. Yeah, but that's only if you care about realism. So there we go. Yeah, and I got a lot of my inspiration from this review from watching Meat's review. He actually covered this thing very well, but I also have a lot of things to add. This whole back part, I feel like it's actually I think it's ABS. This back section is ABS. And let's see more accessories. So we have these guns right here. You have two of them, one long and one short. This can be flipped upside down, so you can have the longer one on one side or vice versa, however you want. So yeah, again, these mechanisms do work. So you gotta be careful with these. Like this one doesn't seem to want to move. It's just a peg that goes into this hole right here. I honestly would advise caution because I think these can be very easily prone to breakage. So I honestly would not fuck around with this thing too much. But this one already moves. So there you go, like that. So you have two versions, long and short. They're mounted onto the arms, which I will show you guys. And then we have the katana. This is more like a wakizashi than a katana. This is very short. And yeah, obviously this thing is, it's not plasticized. It's flexible. I think it's polystyrene. Yeah, it's not plasticized, but then this is ABS. There we go. It's painted very well. And obviously we have the hands, which are plasticized. Lightly plasticized, I might add. And then we have some parts on this figure that are heavily plasticized. For example, these things are a nightmare. This whole thing is like, it feels like a Hasbro Marvel Legends thing. However, it does have very nice shading, painted details. Very well done. You know, if this was a Hasbro product, then you'll probably look like shit. This thing actually looks this is actually very nicely painted, very nicely detailed and shaded. So, yeah. Does it justify the $70 price point? $70 to $90 price point. To be honest with you, I think the paintwork is on point here, but there's a lot of other things you want to consider when it comes to the figure. So here we have the figure, but here we have the figure in parts. I took this thing apart because I want to give you guys a breakdown. To be a little different than what other reviewers do on this figure already. So we have the bottom here. Again, this thing is heavily plasticized. We have these parts here, which are just, plasticized PVC. Plasticized all the way. So flexible, or some people call it super gummy. It is, however, painted and shaded. So that's very well done. These are connected via these ball joints. If you want to repaint this figure, it's actually very easy because all these parts come off and they're plasticized PVC, so they're very easy to paint. Although, unless you're really good at painting, you're gonna be painting over all these very nicely done detail work from the factory. So, yeah, I don't think a repaint on this thing is necessary. I think the paint work from the factory is actually top-notch quality. So I have to give Bandai that. What I don't give Bandai credit for is using so much plasticized parts. Yeah, like I said, this thing feels more like a Storm Collectibles figure than SH Figuarts because they don't use that much plasticized PVC on SH Figuarts figure. Most of the parts are ABS plastic. Or maybe I'm jaded with Robot Spirits figures or something like that. Obviously, you can see double jointed knees like that, so that's pretty good. We do have a hinge on the knees, I think. Yeah, you can see there's some rotation in there. It's not a peg, so I wouldn't recommend, articulating that a little too much. You can see right here, these things are plasticized, very plasticized, so it's very flexible. You guys know I hate plasticized PVC, so we're just not need to get too much detail in that. We have a ball joint system for the feet. These can be, work into an ankle rocker if you like. We also have a toe joint, which barely do anything. So there we go. That's the bottom half of the figure. I do want to say, what the amount of shading that's done on this figure and the paintwork is pretty decent. But I can rate this figure just based on the paintwork. There is no shading for the plastic, the undersuit, that's like this color. If it has some shading, it definitely will look a lot better. And then we have this hinge right here. This is the fake ab crunch because there's no points of articulation right here. This is armor, covers up the whole thing. Okay, for the hips, we do have the ball joint to the knee, and then we have the thigh cut right there. You can see that. So, yeah, you can put this guy in some decent articulated points. It's got, yeah, it's advertised as something that has good articulation, and for the most part, it's a decently articulated figure. So there we go. We're gonna connect the torso to the ball joint. There we go. And yeah, that skull head, this is a custom. It's not part of the figure. All right, and then we're gonna continue. We have the butterfly joint here for the shoulder. You have a ball joint that goes in there. And then you have a point of articulation over here. We have the a bicep swivel. This piece right here is super plasticized. It's ultra gummy, which to me is a very big disappointment. But again, it's painted well. We do have a double jointed elbow, and then we have a forearm swivel right there. We have the connection point for the gun, and then the wrists are connected via these ball joint peg system thing. You can see right here the hinge, and then the again, these things are kind of like the SH figure art stuff. If it breaks, you are screwed, so be very careful with that. So there we go. For hands, we have the open hands, we have closed fists, and then we have the gripping hand right here. So let's go ahead and attach a gripping hand in here, and with the gripping hand, obviously he can hold these accessories like the wakizashi. They advertise this thing as a katana, but I honestly don't think something this short is actually a katana. It's a wakizashi. There we go. And then he's got an even smaller one, a kunai or something. No, that's not a kunai. That's more like I forgot what those things are called. And here you go. You have the little area here that can hold on to the saya. This thing is actually articulated, so you can see that. So you can swing this around. Yeah, saya is a Japanese word for the scabbard. All right, so for the rest of the figure, we have the neck joint right here, and then the ball joint socket here for the head. This body armor piece is actually hard plastic. I think it's ABS. Yeah, but a lot of parts on this figures are plasticized PVC, which is very annoying. All right, so this headpiece right here is also a mix of ABS and plasticized PVC. These parts are glue on. These are plasticized PVC. There you go. You can see that. This part is plasticized, and the rest of it I think is just ABS plastic. This piece is also plasticized. It's a ball joint that connects to the neck, and then we have a ball joint socket for the head. Let's go put this on right here, like that. Yeah, you know, these thing is valued at like, you know, retails for like 80 to 90 bucks. I think it's a little bit expensive. I think these are should be around the price of a Storm collectible figure, which is $65 to $75. It's just slightly more expensive, but yeah. I mean, you do get quite a few accessories. It's got good posability, and it's got a good height. This guy is a 6.7 inch tall. So here's a NECA Predator, which is 1/10 scale. This guy would be like, I don't know, it won't fit in with like SH Figure Arts. It won't really fit in with Marvel Legends, but it will scale with your Storm collectibles figure, or, you know, stuff within its own line, the Manga Realization, or the Star Wars Meisho Realization, the movie Realization stuff. So, okay. So, and to attach the backpack, it's very easy. It's just a hole in the back. You want to be very careful with this because you don't want to break that peg. And then we just slowly work that peg into the body. And then there you go. It's yeah, it's like a little peg that's holding on to so much stuff, which I think at some point it'll probably just break. So, and they don't give you any replacements, so that really sucks. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and swing out these accessories. Oh, by the way, this review is sponsored by my viewer, our friend on this channel, Honz from Germany. So thank you, Honz, for sponsoring this review. Basically, he wanted me to QC this item, and then he gave me a deposit on it, just in case there's something wrong with it. Then I get to keep the deposit. There's really nothing wrong with it, so I think I'm gonna contact him if he watches this video, and then go ahead and send this item to Germany. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find nowadays in 2021. I know it came out in 2018, and then there were not a lot of people interested in this thing. They thought it was just kind of too weird. It's still very weird, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely there's definitely some stuff you can do with it. You can get the backpack to another figure. The head comes out very easily, so you can make a custom samurai figure. I mean, other than the headpiece, if you ignore the headpiece, I mean, this thing can be pretty much anything, right? I mean, this ornament really doesn't make you think it's like Iron Man or anything, right? Yeah, so anyway, okay, one last thing before we go. Let's go ahead and attach this part right here. These are the cannons. You can have the cannons on the arms like that. So basically, you can fire this like that. It can also be flipped upside down, so you take this thing off, you get the smaller one. This thing can just attach right here. This is actually something I saw on Meat's channel. Not many people actually does this. So there you go. You can fire the cannon this way, which I think is cool. This is something like that. Do I recommend this figure if you can find it? If you can pay under $100 for this thing. Yeah, because it's actually kind of rare now, and you can't really find it anywhere. Nobody has it. It wasn't really something that was super interesting to begin with, and I don't think it's going to be super interesting now at this point either. So, yeah, it is what it is. Bandai did a pretty good job, painting this thing. The only real huge problem with this figure is that it's heavily plasticized. Yeah, and the price point it's kind of sucky. So I give it a final rating of 3.5 out of 5. I can't forgive all the parts that are plasticized. For high quality product, I think it should have less plasticized parts. And it's a little bit too expensive. This is how I feel about Storm Collectibles. I don't think Storm Collectible figures are worth more than $75. But they continue to keep raising the price on them. So yeah, this is kind of in that territory. It's like a weird line of products that's not very popular. But I'm just glad, this particular line, the Manga realization and the Meisho realization, isn't that popular. Otherwise, Bandai will just keep cranking these out, and people are going to keep paying more and more for these very obscure, weird figures. So anyway, that's my final verdict, 3.5 out of 5. I hope you guys find the information helpful. Thanks for watching.